And I'm Amy DuPont in for Netta Ranpur. Tonight, wicked winter weather is impacting millions of people. The storm has already hit parts of the south and has a bullseye on parts of the mid-Atlantic and northeast. Even though that blizzard is thousands of miles away, its impact is being felt right here in San Diego. CW6's Laura Kavanaugh is live at the San Diego International Airport with the latest on how the storm of history-making magnitude has hampered travel. Laura.
Pope Francis has been engaging in some techie diplomacy.
He had a private meeting Friday with Apple CEO Tim Cook in Rome. That's according to a tweet of the Pontiff's daily schedule. No word on what they talked about, but afterwards the Pope reportedly called modern forms of communication a gift from God. The $638,000 Powerball ticket purchased in Chula Vista last week belongs to 4 South Bay mechanics. That ticket matched all 5 numbers, missing only the Powerball number. Officials say the ticket is shared by Paul Panetta and 3 other colleagues who have not yet been identified. Panetta says he bought that ticket at the 7-Eleven on I Street in Chula Vista. He says he and his co-workers plan to use the cash to take vacations, pay off bills, and help family members. The first person to sue General Motors over its faulty ignition switch has dropped the suit. This after a witness came forward to contradict allegations made by the plaintiff. It was the first of 6 trials that would determine if victims could successfully sue GM instead of taking the settlement offered to them. GM has admitted to failing to recall more than 1 million vehicles for about a decade after the problem was discovered. GM has already paid nearly $600 million in damages.
The clouds that are not going to affect Amy's wedding tomorrow.
Well, the clouds maybe, but no rain is what
That's
we're
what I
saying.
should say. Yeah, there might be some clouds, but
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
it
why
actually
not?
makes for better pictures. Then it's not so
and if
bright.
rain makes it a luckier wedding, right?
Right, I guess so.
Then you get the benefit of the rain and the
Both.
luck.
But I'd go with a
without
little
the
less
rain.
luck and a little bit more clouds.
The Chiefs' announcement got our attention. We thought 11 terminations sounded like a lot. Turns out, it is. Keep in mind the Marines are forward deployed, and not only for combat situations, but for humanitarian missions as well. At least 60 women and children sleep here every night. And those 60 available beds don't even come close to meeting the need. You can get a bike tune-up, you can play some games, they will even provide dinner. And check this out. We mentioned that mural in the back of the store. Well, if you come on down, you can get a tote like this. Well, pilots of passenger planes and other aircraft are reporting more than 100 sightings or close calls with rogue drones every month. It's a long 2 years. Jane, let's give your dad a break. We talked to a little guy, a kindergartner, and he described it this way. He said it was so hot today, he felt like a roasted marshmallow. I asked her, has something like this ever happened before? She actually said yes. She said about a year ago, someone went up over the curb and hit one of the concrete trash cans, throwing that into the front of the window. So I guess lightning strikes twice here in Claremont Mesa. Both of the officers involved were wearing body cameras at the time of the shooting, but neither one was recording. As you mentioned, investigators have collected eyewitness cell phone video. They will use that evidence as well as witness statements to piece together what happened.
Investigators say at least 10 people witnessed the 2 motor officers shoot and kill an armed black man in the middle of a busy downtown intersection. A few of those witnesses even captured the shooting on camera.
We do have video evidence of this incident. Sounds like citizens caught it, as did some of the surveillance cameras that are on some of the buildings.
Hector Fierro was working around the corner. He heard the gunshots and ran to see what happened.
The guy on the floor, the gun right beside him, the officer over him. Just a bunch of sirens everywhere, cops rushing in, just about 12 of them. It was just hectic.
Then Hector reached for his cell phone.
It's 2015, who doesn't pull their camera out, you know? It's part of you nowadays, you know? Take the camera out, try to capture whatever you can, maybe it might help evidence.
Hector's video and others collected at the scene will help investigators determine exactly what happened. What they know so far is that the victim was causing a disturbance. When the 2 officers approached him, he ran a short distance, then stopped.
Suspect turned, removed a large frame semi-automatic pistol from his waistband and pointed at the officer. Officer, fearing for his immediate life-threatening incident here, fired several rounds at the suspect. The suspect went down. He was told to stay down and drop the gun.
Instead, investigators say the suspect got up and pointed the gun at officers a second time. The officers shot the man again.
I turned the corner and I saw the perpetrator hit the ground and his arm went limp, and I was just awestruck.
Over the next couple of days, investigators will try to understand why the man was causing a disturbance and why he pointed a weapon at police. They will also try to determine why others and not the officers captured the incident on camera.
We need to determine why the body camera was not turned on. We do know this was something that happened fairly quick.
As of late this afternoon, the two officers involved had yet to give their statements. That will take place either late tonight or tomorrow. Reporting live in the Gaslamp Quarter, Amy DuPont, San Diego 6 News.
Amy, I know you were talking to the captain earlier today. Aren't those cameras always on, the body cameras?
The body cameras are always on. However, they're not always recording. The officer, when they're called to the scene, has to think and say, okay, I need to turn this on because something might happen. Gravity is mostly to blame for the erosion taking place here at Sunset Cliffs. But a member of the park board says city drainage issues are making the problem worse.
We love doing this. It's perfect.
This is Randy and Allison Rose's favorite place to end the day, holding hands at the edge of Sunset Cliffs.
It's nature at its finest.
But Mother Nature could keep the roses at a distance. For the second time in less than a week, a crack has appeared along the cliff's edge. The city put up this fence to keep people away. It will stay up until this portion of the cliff falls, and it will fall.
Can't look at these sea cliffs as being permanent features.
Geologist Dr. Pat Abbott says it's just a matter of time before erosion steals this section of the cliff as well as the rest of it.
What you see here now, it's going to eat its way across the road. It's going to eat out the houses you see across the street. I don't mean immediately, but I'm just talking about that's what's happening.
Abbott blames gravity and our recent storms.
Things fall almost every year that we have some falls, and I think we have more of them this year because we've had an extra lot of storms with big waves coming in at high tides.
Dr. Abbott says we can't stop erosion.
Because they do need to take a real hard look at that parking lot.
But a member of the Sunset Cliffs Park Erosion Committee, Debbie Ridenauer, believes the city can slow it down.
Natural erosion is one thing. Accelerated erosion by poor drainage control is a whole nother problem.
Dee Dee blames the crack on nearby parking lots. The rain that falls in these lots runs down the cliff and into the ocean, adding stress to the already weak sea cliff. Dee Dee says the city has been aware of the problem for years, but hasn't done anything about it.
It's money, it's politics, it's deciding that it's a big enough issue to do it.
The Roses are still hopeful this view will last at least their lifetime.
Erosion can be a beautiful thing.
And that the city will step in.
Over years, it has become a beautiful architectural, God-given talent.
Because Mother Nature doesn't need any help.
We were unable to reach anyone at the city this evening, but Dee Dee is hoping this fence that the city put up today will get the community's attention. They'll complain, and that will motivate the city to get out here, get to work, and fix the drainage situation. Reporting from Sunset Cliffs, Amy DuPont, CW6 News.